Hello, my name is Rob Garner. I'm a computer programming instructor, and today I'm going to demonstrate how to make a custom handler. From Visual Studio, I'm going to create a new project. It's going to be a web application, which I'm going to place on my desktop. And I'm going to call it Handler Demo. I'm going to make it empty. And I'm not going to add any core references. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a class. And I'm going to call it Handler Sampler. We're going to inherit from the IHTTP handler class. And inside of it, we'll just type in some HTML that will be what we want to be returned when we get a HTTP request. And you can put pretty much whatever you want in here. So we're going to create this response string. This string could be anything you wanted. You could even draft this up in some other tool for a web page and just create your web and just place your HTML in here. The other thing we can do is since we're implementing this iHTTP interface, Visual Studio 2013 has this tool where we can say implement interface, and it will give us the properties and methods that have to be implemented. So we have to implement this is reusable, and we're just going to return true. If we go to MSDN and look up iHTTP handler, we can find that as reusable, it basically is a value that determines whether or not the handler can be reused. And we have a process request method that has to be implemented that enables processing of the web request, which is actually the method which we'll use to return our response. So we're going to return true with is reusable, and then we're going to create our response. So to do that, we're going to take the request, and this context parameter will have an HTTP context passed into us, which we can use to get a number of things. If you scroll down through IntelliSense, we can see a number of things. We're going to get the request. If I hover over that, it tells me gets the system HTTP request object. The response gets the response object. So both of these properties basically can be used to find what is in the request that was sent from the client, and then build our response that we'll send back to it. We're going to set the response content type to text HTML. And we're going to write, and we can see there's several overloads for this write command. We're going to pick the one that's going to take a string, and we're going to format our response. We put a placeholder in our response in order to put the value that we want in here, a value that we want in here. And what we want to go in there is, from the request object, we want to put in the user agent. And we could put in any number of things here just to see what's available. And we're just doing this to illustrate how this response works, and that we can take things from the request and put them back into the response. So the next thing we need to do is use our web config to configure some, to add this handler so that it can be used. And in the configuration, I'm going to pick system, need to be outside of system web. I'm going to pick system dot web server, and inside that tag I'm going to add the handler to the handlers, and I'm going to use add. Notice that you can add, clear, remove handlers depending on how you want your system to work. And for my handler, I need to set the name attribute. And let's see, what do we name it? We can name it what we want. We'll just say handler demo. Verb equals asterisk path equals call handler sample, and type equals handler demo dot handler. Actually, yes, that's correct. Handler sample. This is the name of our class. So that's the project, and then the name of the class, and then the name of the class again. Again, we can go to MSDN to find out more about registering handlers. We can see here that in type you have the handler and then the assembly. So in this case, this is referring, the assembly in this case is the project. And then this is the fully qualified name of the class that we're going to use for our handler. So let's run this and see what happens. I'm going to use Control F5 so that it'll build and run. And we don't have anything defined for the local host because so to find it, we have to go to the path that we specified. And that path is this path right here. And it looks like I'm getting just the HTML coming out as text. So let's see, I think we have some extra spaces there. Let's try that again. I'm just going to rebuild the solution. Again, that doesn't seem to be it. And it turns out that HEML is not an actual format, a content type. So we'll maybe try HTML. Save that. Rebuild the solution. And now we have it rendered as HTML. And we can see that because we took from the context the request object, and we took the request object and looked at the user agent and placed that in the output, we get the user agent displayed here. Thank you very much.